Hello friend, previously we've examined how to find the limit of a function using a graph. Now, let's evaluate this limit algebraically. How can we do this? Think about this for a moment. Okay, since we have radical in the numerator of the rational expression, this is the rational expression I'm talking about. To evaluate a limit like this, we can multiply the top and the bottom, that is the numerator and the denominator, by the conjugate of the numerator. And this is the conjugate of the numerator. So what do I mean by the conjugate of the numerator? Since I have square root of x minus square root of 4, the conjugate of that is going to be square root of x plus square root of 4. So all I did here is I just switched the sign. So the conjugate of the numerator is just going to be square root of x plus square root of 4. So to evaluate this limit, what I just did was I multiplied the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the numerator. So I'm going to write this, the limit as x approaches 4. I'm going to write it this way. I'm going to put it in parentheses. X minus 4 into parentheses square root of x plus square root of 4. So it's still the same thing, basically. Now, what can I do here? If you remember the difference of squares, the numerator looks like the difference of squares. Recall that if I have a minus b times a plus b, recall this is equal to a squared minus b squared, right? So here my a is going to be what? My a is going to be the square root of x, and my b is going to be the square root of 4, right? So this is going to be equal to the limit as x approaches 4 of square root of x square minus square root of 4 square. Then I will just leave the denominator the way it is. Just leave the denominator the way it is. And I'm getting somewhere by doing that. Now, the square can cancel the what? The square root. The square can cancel the square root. So what am I left with? I'm left with limit as x approaches 4 of x minus 4 over x minus 4 square root of 4 plus square root of x plus square root of 4. I'm left with this, and all the way I kept the limit as x approaches 4. Very important. Now, what can cancel out? There is x minus 4 in the numerator and x minus 4 in the denominator. So these can cancel out, right? So what I'll be left with is limit as x approaches 4 of 1 over square root of x plus square root of 4. And at this point, I can plug in 4. So I plug in 4 because it's the limit as x approaches 4. So I can plug in 4 because when I plug in 4, the denominator is not going to be 0. So I can plug in 4 for x, and this is just going to be 1 over 2 plus 2. So it's just going to be 1 over 4. And that's the limit. That's it. So I'm going to do a quick recap. So to evaluate a limit like this, we multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the numerator. And when you do that, I just use the difference of squares to um, because the numerator look in the form of the difference of squares. So I just use the difference of squares to get this part. To get this part, use the difference of squares to get that. And my square cancel the square root, and I'm left with the limits of 1 over square root of x plus square root of 4 as x approaches 4. And I just plugged in 4 and I simplified and I got 1 over 4. And that's it. Thank you.